The reason why family therapy is so important is because the more impact you can have within the system, then the more change will happen and the more sustainable that change can be. So when families are all kind of working together and they're all pulling towards the same thing, they're all co-creating the same future, the same kind of future, it becomes more dynamic and more powerful. So family therapy is an incredibly important part of the therapy process because you just have more change happening within the system. I'm Elliott Connie, and this is Family Therapy. I spent a lot of my youth trying to think of how to end my life. And I came out of that situation with a complete understanding that pain is a part of life, and that when you find your purpose within your pain, it doesn't hurt anymore, and that suffering is unnecessary. And I went to graduate school so that I could learn how to help other people learn that. And unfortunately, in graduate school, I learned about theory and problems, and I didn't learn what I was hoping to learn, which is like how to help people overcome absolutely anything that happens in their lives. And it lit a fire under me. Like I wanted so badly to create healing in the world that's the journey that I set on. Like that was the purpose for me going to graduate school. And that was the reason for me becoming a psychotherapist is I genuinely want to create healing in this world. And that's what guides all my work. I think human beings are so remarkable and amazing, and there's nothing in the world more powerful than hope. But most psychotherapy approaches are about problems. Like you meet people and you assess them for what's wrong with them. And that just did not sit right with me. And right when I was going to quit graduate school because I couldn't imagine myself doing that for the rest of my career, I came across this book that literally had 2 pages about solution-focused brief therapy that's based on hope. We literally ask our clients what they hope to achieve because we understand the most powerful thing in the world is a hoped for future. Doesn't really matter what your origin story is. And I can give you thousands of examples of people with a tragic and traumatic origin story that ended up living some sort of profound hero story. So we ask people about their hope for future. And I got excited about that. And that's really what solution focused brief therapy is all about, harnessing the resources that you have and using those resources to craft a more desirable future. And I love it. Like when you listen to these conversations that we're going to be having on this podcast, you're going to hear people talk about the future that they want to achieve. And when we talk about their current circumstances or the past pains and traumas, we're going to talk about the resources they have that they could use to create a better future for themselves. The family I've been honored to work with has been incredible. It includes 3 family members, Jay, David, and Freddie. Jay is the woman in this dynamic who is currently co-parenting 2 young boys with her former partner, David, while navigating the fragments of their very recent separation. And Freddie, Jay's father, who plays a role in her life and her psyche. We will learn more about how their bond parallels with her current relationship. Jay is a beacon of strength, yet is stuck in the web of her own doubts and struggles. She has been overwhelmed with life, and like many women, she finds herself in a situation where she has put her happiness to the side for the sake of her children, her partner, and other people around her. Jay finds herself at a crossroad. The echoes of her own desires grow louder, urging her to reclaim the essence of who she truly is. Yet the path ahead is complicated and fraught with questions. What does this mean for her relationships, her role as a parent, her career, and her journey towards healing? In this delicate dance of self-discovery, Jay embarks on a quest to rediscover herself, to reclaim her dreams, and to find happiness within. Join us as we bear witness to her vulnerability and her unwavering resolve to rewrite the script of her life. Can I just ask you a few questions, get to know you a bit? Would that be all right?
Sure.
And are you married?
No.
Okay. Do you have a partner?
I have I guess you could call him a partner, sure.
What's his name?
David.
What do you think he hopes you achieve from talking with me today? Like if I called David right now and I said, "Hey man, I'm talking to Jay. What do you hope she gets from this?" What do you imagine he would say?
He'd probably say, I don't know, whatever she wants. I don't think that he would give you a very clear answer.
Okay. If he did, what do you think he would want for you?
I think he just wants me to be happy with whatever I'm going through and happy in my day-to-day life. So
How long you guys been together?
10 years,
Okay. Any kids?
two, two boys,
How old?
5 and 1.
5 and 1. Wow. Okay. Those are busy ages.
Yes, very busy.
Okay. And Jay, what do you do for a living?
I'm an analyst at a bank.
What does an analyst at a bank do?
Well, I guess the analyst that I am, I deal with mostly high net worth clients and making sure that we know who they are and we have the evidence to support that they are who they say they are and they made their money the way that they say they made their money.
What's a dollar amount for a high net worth client?
It can range, but primarily over $5 million net worth.
Do you enjoy that work?
Um, no, but my job is important. It allows me to have flexibility in my schedule. It allows me to pay my bills, take care of my family. It's not the most exciting job, but it is allows me to be what I need to be in this time of my life.
Oh wow. All right. If you could be any job in the world, you could have any career, you could be anything in the world, what would it be?
Um, I would invest more in real estate and I would manage the properties that I invest in.
Oh, and do you already do that? You said more, so it makes me think you do it some.
I have one property in Baltimore, and then the house that I live in now is a two-family, so it's sort of like an investment property.
And do you enjoy that?
I do. I like talking with people, and I like making money. So I would also probably have some type of job that allows. I used to do lash extensions, and I used to do hair, so I enjoy helping women feel better about themselves. So I would have that as part of my lifestyle in some capacity as well.
And have you always been like that? Someone who enjoys helping women feel better about themselves?
Yeah. hmm
Oh, that's amazing. Okay. What do you do for fun?
I guess spend time with friends and family when I can. Um, Go out, maybe to a movie or out to eat.
Hmm.
But I don't really go out that much. I'm gonna be very honest with you. So you ask me what I do for fun. I'm like, I don't know, be a parent of two small children.
Yeah, yeah,
I
it'd
don't
be
know.
hard. Like a 5-year-old and a 1-year-old. It's probably
Right.
not easy to find alone mom time.
No.
Yeah,
Mm-mm.
yeah. You mentioned like you like spending time with friends. How come? What is it about spending time with friends that you value?
It allows me to be Jay and not mom, not an employee, not a business owner, just me.
Who is Jay?
Who is Jay?
Jay?
Jay is the woman that I used to be. I mean, I'm still her, but she doesn't really get a lot of attention these days. Um, but she is someone who is very thoughtful, who likes to ask questions, who likes to learn, who likes to be active, not as active as I used to be, who likes adventure, and who likes to try new things.
Hmm. Um, an odd question, but do you miss that Jay?
Yes.
And if somehow she came back, would you be pleased? And not sure how. Like life is different. You got two littles, and all those
Right,
things. But
right.
if somehow that Jay came back, would you be pleased?
I would. I think I would. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Um, and you mentioned she was active. What kind of active was that Jay?
Well, I used to exercise a lot. I was in the military, so it was part of, my lifestyle in the military, but also just something that I really enjoyed. Um, that part of my life is not really present. And it's not really so much that I don't have the time because I could make time for it. I just haven't consistently done so. Um, but I like to be outdoors. I like to work out. I used to do like some CrossFit stuff, so I really enjoyed that. And that was kind of like outdoor workouts when weather permit. Um, I've thought about doing like Tough Mudders and things of that nature, but I haven't done one. But those are the type of things that I like.
What brings you to the military?
I was in the Army National Guard.
Did you enjoy that?
Some components of it, yes.
What did you do in the military?
Well, my MOS was military police. So,
What is MOS? I'm a civilian. I don't know the acronym.
sorry. Yeah, it's okay. It's just basically that's just whatever your job is, your specific occupation.
How long did you serve?
7 years.
Wow. Wow. It's amazing. As can sometimes be the case with men, there's a tremendous societal pressure to be strong, confident, be a provider. And at different parts of his life, David has been all of those things as he was a very successful athlete in college and professionally. But is also the case with men. What do we do when we struggle? What do we do when we fall down, when we get depressed, when we start experiencing failure? There's a tremendous amount of judgment and stigma, and it has an impact on us. And I think this journey for David is about, how do I acknowledge that I've been struggling and reclaim my confidence and my strength so I can get back to being the version of myself that I would like to be. I think that's what this journey is about for David. And I think a lot of men can resonate with that, because what do we do when we're struggling? David is going to show you a window into what to do when we're struggling and how to reclaim that best part of yourself. David, can I spend a few minutes just kind of getting to know you a bit? Is that all right?
Sure.
So you
Yeah.
said you're a former athlete. What sport?
hmm I played football.
Okay. High school, college, more than that?
So yes, I played high school for the first time ever playing organized football was high school. Did very, very well. Uh, Earned a full scholarship. Well, I chose my college and I played at the Ohio State University.
Gotcha.
Won a national championship.
Wow.
Wind up playing for a few NFL teams, played overseas, hurt my shoulder, multiple operations on my left shoulder, and then football was over with.
Wow.
Yeah, football was over with.
What position did you play?
I played defensive tackle.
Wow, man, that's incredible. And to go to Ohio State and then play in the NFL, you must have been pretty good.
Yeah. I was pretty good. I was pretty good.
And you also, to play for the Ohio State University, you must have You must have had one hell of a fire lit underneath you to do that.
Absolutely, yes, I sure did. Because my senior year we went undefeated, so we was 14-0. First team in college history at that time that went 14-0 and won a national championship. So yes, definitely had a fire lit underneath me, even when I started playing professional.
Yeah.
Because I was always said, growing up in the inner city, I had teachers. I'll never forget this. One of my 8th grade teachers said, you're going to drop out by your sophomore year. You ain't going to do this and you ain't going to do that. And then I remember my junior year running track. He was a track coach, and there was a lot of college scouts there for football. They thought it was there for track. And it was like, they keep asking about this kid, David. And I overheard him because I was doing well in track too. And I overheard him and I was like, yeah. And I shouldn't have did it. My coach said, why you do that? I was like, nah, I had to let them know. And I was like, yeah, they hear from me. Remember me? Yeah. All American. Yep, all them coaches up there to see me throw this shot put and and it's my first year doing it, and I'm already third in the county. So I was like, yeah, yep, that's what they talking about.
What was that like for you to get that kind of attention when other people were doubting you so much?
Felt good because I was seeing all my hard work pay off. I'm talking about hitting the weight room all summer going into my junior year, put on 30 pounds of muscle, playing on more because I love basketball. So I played on multiple summer leagues. I just kept myself busy. And I knew that I got to set the right example because my little brother is watching. And we only a year apart as far as like grade wise. We was a year apart. So, I just kept pushing, kept pushing. And a lot of responsibility fell on me. The oldest boy, I got two older sisters, single family home. But there's other guys that's looking around on the team and they're seeing it. And I'm letting them know, like, yeah, man, I grew up right around the corner, grew up in the projects, and I'm still able to come out of here and make it all the way to Ohio State University. But I knew I didn't want to go to the military like my father said. I was like, I'm not going to nobody's army. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. And then I was like, yo, I want to go to college. And he was like, my father told me, like, and I'll never forget this, my sophomore year, because it hurt my feelings. And my mother and sister was in the kitchen, and I'm talking to him on the phone. He said, you ain't going to no college with no football, da-da-da, this and this and that. And I said, I ain't. Watch me. I'm going to show you. So right then and there, like, to get the doubt from a teacher and then get the doubt from your dad. And I love my father to death. Rest in peace, though. But we don't have our bumps. But when he told me that, it was over. That was it. Never look back.
And
Never look back.
what city? You said you grew up in the inner city. What city was it?
Paterson, New Jersey.
Paterson, New Jersey. Okay. It's a rough area, isn't it?
Yeah, I grew up in my former project. They tore it down. Was Christopher Columbus Projects. Grew up there. Then I moved to the infamous Fourth Ward.
Wow.
Yep.
I mean, that's incredible, David. And right now, what do you do for a living?
Right now, I'm in sales. I'm in furniture sales, but I always loved sales. I didn't want to go into the teaching field, like the whole side of my mother family in there, because I think just the competitiveness of me playing sports. I can't sit behind a desk. I need to be moving. My personality, I love talking to people. I could talk to anybody. That's just me. So I was like, I got to go into sales. And my father did sales. Me and my father got similar personalities when it come to people. No matter where we at, we would spark a conversation with a total stranger and we could talk for days. Yeah. So that's why I went into sales. So right now I do furniture. I started off one company in sales, excelled at that, like top guy in the company, then went into management, left that company, took some time off because I was having my son.
How many kids?
I have a daughter that's 16. She lives with her mother in Florida. And I got two boys, a 5-year-old and 19 months, 20 months,
So
something like that.
And almost 2. Excellent.
Mm-hmm.
Now, look, you said something I'm intrigued by, is when you're growing up in the projects in Paterson, New Jersey, the chances of you or anybody ending up in a university like Ohio State, athlete or not, are very, very low.
Yes.
What?
Absolutely.
I want you to think for a moment, like, what personality trait or what do you have inside of you that made you one of the kinds of people that could make that leap? You know what I mean? That could get yourself from one environment to another. Very incredibly hard thing to do.
It is. One thing, my moms didn't play around with about us in school, right? Two, my older sister is very intelligent, very smart. She's an attorney. And then I just, when we was younger, we did a lot of stuff with family, and a lot of my family, especially on my mother's side, all in college, went to HBCUs and, just had us around. And I always like, oh, that's cool. Like, I always was big on like a HBCU. Like, I was like, yo, I want to go to a black college. Shit, why not? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, yo, I see it. And then, even my dad, like he was always honest about, yo, get your schoolwork. You got to know your math. You got to know how to read, know your mathematics, stuff like that. You got to get good grades so you can get a job. So I just always kept that in the back of my mind. And then I just, at some point in time, not like saying I'm perfect and I was innocent or anything like that, but at some point in time, like I was like, yo, I don't want to go to jail. Like that's one, two. I don't want to get killed, right? So I just got into sports, and then a lot of community around me, like family and stuff, is made sure because, like I said, my older sister, smart, in school, college, and then my other sister that's right underneath. She was a smart, talented, but she was the street one, right? So my uncles, godfather, cousins and stuff that's made sure like, yo, and told my mom like, yo, we got the boys, like, put them in this sport or we gonna take them there, let them just exposing us to different things. Seeing my cousins graduate high school and just putting us around athletes because even though we was in the projects, a lot of athletes came out of there. Some of them did go to colleges, not big schools, but they did. But a lot of athletes didn't. So I saw that. So I was like, yo, it is possible. But the college bug didn't really bite me for sports until I got to high school.
Right.
That's when it really like, all right, Dave, you can really take this to another level. Because if you want to go to school and you don't want to work like your sister is and going to college, that's just not. I feel like yo, I wouldn't be able to do that. You got to play sports, excel at it, get good grades, and you get a free ride.
I want to tell you about the third party in this process, which is Jay's father named Freddie. And, a lot of people have made a lot of mistakes in their life. And some of those mistakes include drug addiction, incarceration, some of the trappings of inner city life. And Freddie is certainly an example of this. But the beautiful thing about Freddie is he's come out on the other side and is willing to acknowledge that there are some things he has to do to get back to the family that he has hurt over the years. And I think one of the hardest things ever is, how do you acknowledge fault, ask for forgiveness, and behave in a way that's more in line with who you want to be? And that's what Freddie's going to show us as he courageously goes about trying to reconnect with his children and his grandchildren while acknowledging he's done some things to cause hurt over the years. So I talked to you earlier today on your job. What is it you do for a living?
I do mainly carpentry, construction.
Okay, where'd you learn how to do that?
In Midland Park, New Jersey. I worked for this guy for like, I don't know, 7 years. He was it's like some people is afraid to teach you. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And he wasn't afraid to teach me. Like once I learned how to do this, he taught me another step. You know what I mean?
Mm.
And sometimes people only teach you but so much. You know what I mean? So you won't step out on your own and do your own thing. You know what I mean? He wasn't afraid to, to teach me, even if that happened. If he wasn't, he was that type of guy.
Do you enjoy it? The work you do?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
I ain't enjoy it too much today, though.
What about, have you ever tried therapy before? Is this your first time doing therapy?
Well, no, not really. I used to have sessions with, in this program I was in. I don't know. I tried. Some people, something I could talk to some people about this. And some people I can talk to some people about that. But I can't talk to one person about this and that.
Right.
I don't know if that make any sense.
That makes perfect sense. I understand that. Anything else you'd like to see in your life change as a result of us talking?
Primarily my whole entire family. Like, I don't really got a day-to-day kind of relationship with my kids. Like, do like talk to them every day or every week. I wanted that to improve greatly.
Okay. How many kids you got?
7.
Okay. And you would I heard you say you'd like that to improve greatly. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. What difference would it make for you if these relationships were to improve greatly?
Well, speaking as a human being, I would, love the joy of my family every day. You know what I mean? Talking to them, grandkids. I think initially it's primarily my fault. You know, now I'm not put forth enough initiative to call them every day to see how they doing. I try to, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's one thing I'm really lacking. Like I let one day turn into 2 days. If I know it's a week, now and then it's a month. God, and then it's 6 months. Like, oh, jeez. And then when I do call them, like this every week, somewhat reluctant,
Right.
to talk to. Yes, you know what I mean?
So, do you think they know? Do you think these 7 kids know how much you want to have a relationship with them, like a daily or weekly relationship with them?
I'm quite sure they know, but I'm not making the effort to make sure that we do have a relationship like that. I know it's like a phone work both ways,
Mm-hmm.
but I should have more initiative on try to develop a relationship again. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I owe it to me, and I owe it to them as much as as anybody else.
Okay. How would it make a difference in your life to have these kind of relationships with these 7 kids? How would it make a difference for you?
It's more than having $1 million, I think.
Wow, man.
And this brings joy and happiness in my life. So much things seem to be missing out of my life, and I think those are the major things that I'm missing.
I ask people what their best hopes are because in order for me to do therapy, I need to know what their desired outcome is. That's probably the very difference between the way that I do therapy and most traditional psychotherapists, because most traditional psychotherapists need to know the problem. And I don't need to know the problem. I just need to know the hope. I need to know the hoped for future. And if I can understand the hoped for future, then I can start doing therapy. David, what are your best hopes from talking with me?
Trying to figure everything out. Hopefully this can help put me on a better track on what's going on with me and Jake, just trying to get more clarity and, maybe put a little fire underneath me. I think that's what I'm trying to get out of this. There definitely needs to be some changes on my end and just us as a, relationship and as family, things of that nature. I'm very open minded. So I'm willing to do whatever it takes.
Okay. How would you know you had a fire lit underneath you, David? Like what would be a sign to you that this led to a fire being lit underneath you?
Um, Behavior changes, being more assertive with certain things and, even a little bit more discipline on certain aspects of my life. I think that'll let me know because it used to be there.
Right.
And then somewhere down the line and, it fizzled out a little bit. And I know it, I can see it sometimes and then I have flashes of it, but I needed to be lit and keep on going because I'm a former athlete. So I know when that fire is lit. I know when it's lit. Yeah.
All right. So if somehow talking to me lit that fire and that discipline and behavior changes happen, you'd be pleased?
Yes, absolutely.
Jay, what are your best hopes from talking with me?
My best hopes. I guess that I get a little bit more clarity on the things that I want, and what I'm working towards becomes a little more clear to me.
How would you know you had clarity?
Um, Once I've defined a very clear strategy, I guess, and a clear goal.
What difference would it make for you to have clarity about these strategies and goals?
So I can know how I want to move forward with this relationship. How I want to, I guess, identify the life that I want and work towards it. Because sometimes I feel like I know, and then sometimes I feel like I don't know.
In those times when you feel like you do know, what's that like?
It's nice. It's peaceful. It's like it just makes sense. Things make sense. There's no like double back, no doubting myself. It's just like this is what I'm doing, and I'm going towards it.
Okay, and instead of doubting yourself, what's happening instead in those moments?
Confident in the choices that I'm making and making things happen.
And are you pleased in those moments?
Yeah, I think so.
So if I could help you, somehow as a result of us talking, you had that peace and that clarity and that confidence, would you be pleased?
Yes.
Freddie, what are your best hopes from talking with me?
Well, life has a lot of pushes and pulls. I'm just trying to figure out which way, I want to go. You know what I mean? Hopefully I can get some type of resolution with a few issues that I'm having. And I'm hoping that you give me some more pointers on how to go direct at the issue and follow up on it. Just do what I say I'm going to do when I'm going to say I'm going to do it. That's all.
If I gave pointers that you could follow up on and do these things, you'd be pleased.
Yeah, somewhat. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
I'm having a real issue with my son though. Like, we at each other's throats. Like he's like 35. I think it's some like mostly like childhood trauma maybe. I think that's one of the issues that's happening with him too. I guess I'm having some traumas too because I guess he was 14 years old when I left.
Yeah. When you left, where'd you go?
I moved to Florida.
Okay. How long were you gone?
Oh, like 10 years.
Wow, 10 years. So he was 14 and he was 24 when you came back.
Yeah.
Did you see him at all in the 10 years between? No. Okay. Did you reconnect with him when he was 24 when you came back?
Yeah.
Okay. How'd that go?
It went so. Little resentment, then it was a little happiness, and then it was a little resentment.
Okay. What would you like to see happen to your relationship with your son? Like if I could do a really, really good job and make a difference in your relationship with your son, what difference would you like to see happen?
I just hope that we could be friends again, and be father and son again, and just have a relationship again, period.
Okay. So, Freddie, if I could help you and your son have a relationship again that's kind of like father, son, and friendly again, you'd be pleased?
Yes, indeed.
Okay. What else, Freddie? What else can I help you with?
I guess all the goals I try to achieve in my life, for one minute they feel like I reached them, and then there's another setback, then I working again for somebody. I just got to working it down. Man, my back is hurting so bad.
Man, can I ask you a really important question?
Sure.
And please, if I offend you, let me know because that's not my intention.
Okay.
But I get the impression, and you didn't say this, so correct me if I'm wrong. I get the impression that you don't feel like you've done everything right as a father. Is that true?
That's true, and I'm not offended by that. I think as being a man in life, you want to do everything possible for your kids, as far as financial, emotionally, in all aspects of this life. And I think I fell kind of short in a lot of areas. Not to say that I was the worst father in the world. I know we did a lot. I did a lot of things. We had some joyful times in our lives. You know what I mean? And not to say that all men think they fall short in some aspects. You know what I mean? But I think I fell short and more than most men in this world.
And thank you for saying that. And I guess what I want to ask you is, if you woke up tomorrow as the version of yourself that you want to be, as the version of yourself as a father that you want to be, how would your kids know it?
I guess by me showing them being more attentive in their life. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Being a part of they activities in a way where, like, you was just there. You know what I mean? Sometimes you just gotta be just there. I can't really say I'm a part of their life. Like let me see. If you say you know me, right? Okay. If you know me, then you would know my daily functions in the day,
Mm-hmm.
the events that I got, planned. You know what I mean? And what's even the favorite, there'll be a favorite cereal. You know what I mean? Things like that. I don't know. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and I think that's probably be the top of my list. You know what I mean? Like this, like this say I know you. I know you.
Mm.
You know what I mean? And for me to say I know you, I don't. I know you. I love you. But and but I don't really know your events of the day. You know what I mean? Or your events of yesterday.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Your events for tomorrow. That's not to say I know you. You know what I mean?
Would you like to know your children in that way?
Absolutely.
What's the first thing, if you woke up tomorrow, man, as the best version of you as a father, what's the first thing you would do to join their lives in that way? How would you do it?
Well, just by doing things with them. If it ain't nothing but going to the fish market, getting some fish to have dinner with. You know what I mean? Or going to a show or event or just spending that he called quality time.
Yeah. Freddie, when was the last time you spent quality time, like going to a dinner or an event? When was the last time you spent that kind of time with one of the kids?
Jeez, I really gotta think about that. You know what I mean? Because it's been a minute.
Hey, how do you think they'd respond to you trying to join their lives like this? How do you think they'd respond?
I think they'd be kind of acceptable to it. You know what I mean?
You think they
You
would
know,
be acceptable to it?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. What would they say?
That's the whole dilemma, actually. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Because I would plan something, and something else won't make it happen. Mainly with me, it could be emergency or a lack of fundings or not having the transportation. You know what I mean? It just seems like something always fall like in the midst of it all. Like to prevent it from happening. I mean, sometimes I be like, damn, to myself, like, what force is always working against me? You know what I mean?
Yeah, man.
Always want to just work out. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm.
It must be hard, Freddie,
Yeah, it's hard it can be. Yeah.
to feel like, all these forces are against you. That must be difficult.
Yeah, sometimes it appears to be.
Yeah.
And then I'll be like, I got, a nice big beautiful home, nice big beautiful woman, like the what you would call one of the American dreams, white picket fence and all that, a dog, but I feel love in my house, but it's emptiness that's in me that's, got a shadow over everything.
I hope more than anything else, what people get and the value people will get from listening to this podcast is inspiration and witnessing the power of love and care. In being a psychotherapist for nearly 20 years, love and care are a part of every single change process. Either learning to love yourself, learning to love your partner, learning to love the people around you, learning to accept love from the people around you, like it's an incredibly important part of the change process. It's literally what motivates us to do things differently every single day. Like when people have addiction, they get clean because of someone that they love and care about. When people want to get a new job, it's because they've learned to love themselves and value themselves. Like, so I want people to witness the power of love as people discover how to love themselves and the people around them and how to receive love. I also want people to experience inspiration, because when we are going through hard times, we have a tendency to think we're the only ones going through those hard times. And we have a tendency to think our lives, like the thing that's challenging us, is insurmountable. But when you can sit and bear witness to people overcoming challenges in their lives, and you can see how they're doing it and what it's leading to, it inspires you to hang on just a little bit more in your life. And for me, that makes this one of the most valuable podcasts you can ever listen to, because we highlight the power of love and inspire people to do and be better in their lives. I would love to hear from you about your healing journey, your family, and your feedback. Leave a review, send a DM, connect with me on socials at Elliott Speaks. And you can also send me a text message to 972-426-2640. Family Therapy is a production of iHeartRadio and the Black Effect Podcast Network. Special thanks to our assistant, Glendale Sepe, the music supervisor, Bo Dozier. It's produced by Jacquees Thomas and the executive producer, Dolly Bishop. The content presented on the Family Therapy Podcast serves solely for educational and informational purposes. It should not be considered a replacement for personalized medical or mental health guidance and does not constitute a provider-patient relationship. It is advisable to consult with your healthcare provider or health team for any specific concerns or questions you may have.